Representation is an important aspect of living as a society. In LGBTQ+ media, the act of representation can have good intentions. However, majority of the time they do not seem to age well, displaying harsh violence towards LGBTQ+, predatory natures, and even death. But one LGBTQ+ film that has a positive representation, and that still remains a beloved film, is But Im A Cheerleader, directed by Jamie Rabbit. This satire and campy film follows Megan, played by Natasha Lyonne, who considers herself a typical American girl. She excels in school and cheerleading, and she has a handsome football-playing boyfriend, even though she isn't that crazy about him. So she is stunned when her parents decide that she's gay and send her to True Directions, a boot camp meant to alter her sexual orientation. This film displays a positive representation through satire and comedy, while also conveying the harms of conversion therapy without being disturbing. Firstly, But Im A Cheerleader represents the negative impact of conversion therapy throughout the film without harmful and triggering natures. Films throughout the LGBTQ+ world have had subtle harmful effects towards the community. Example being Call Me By Name by Luca Guadagnino, in the way the story has a predatory aspect within the main protagonist's relationship. In films like Boy Erased, conversion therapy is portrayed in the film through incredibly triggering imagery, sexual assault, and the miseducation of Cameron Post, self-mutilation, in which films displaying the harmful effects of conversion therapy through the harshness are important to cinema. However, with But Im A Cheerleader, the film challenges the horrible nature of conversion therapy without displaying disturbing and depressing tones that majority of LGBTQ+ films portray. This is shown as the conversion therapy in itself is portrayed in a satire form, and no violence is depicted in the film. Also shown within the film's ending, as the movie has a happy ending, unlike majority of women-loving women films, for example Lost and Delirious, and male-loving male films, Brokeback Mountain. This film challenges the idea that LGBTQ+ always have to be devastating and depressing. This film shows that LGBTQ+ can have happy endings and lightheartedness, while also touching on the horrifying ideas that conversion therapy portrays. This is one of the reasons why But Im A Cheerleader still remains a beloved film so many years after it's released. Secondly, But Im A Cheerleader is able to use characters and costume to portray the LGBTQ+ while also making fun of the heteronormative gender binary and stereotypes. But Im A Cheerleader uses mise-en-scene to portray the LGBTQ+, as they use a diverse range of characters, such as Megan, a hyper-feminine cheerleader, Graham, a brooding, unapologetic lesbian, and side characters such as a Jewish teen, a goth, a nerd, a retail employee, and a varsity wrestler. Using all of these diverse sets of characters conveys the idea that so many different archetypes can and will be queer. Queerness is diverse. However, an important character is the character Jan, who throughout the film is considered a butch lesbian. She is masculine, loves softball, and wears baggy clothes, which in society these aspects cannot be considered widely associated with queer women. In the climax of the film, Jan quotes, everyone thinks I'm this big lesbian because I wear baggy clothes, love softball, and not as pretty as other girls. That doesn't mean I'm a lesbian," revealing that Jan is actually not meant to be in conversion therapy, because Jan is straight. The scene calls out the stereotype that society places upon sexuality and gender, and the association with masculine-presenting women, who enjoy presenting in a more masculine way. Using Jan was important, as because of her presenting more masculine, it's assumed that she is a lesbian, but she is actually straight, conveying the false reality of stereotype society places. Lastly, But Im A Cheerleader uses satire to convey the problematic point of conversion therapy for characters and casting. But Im A Cheerleader uses satire to convey the problematic point of conversion therapy for characters and casting, as one of the head leaders of True Directions is Mark, who quotes, "I was once a gay, but now I'm an ex-gay," which is hinted throughout the film that the therapy did not work. Who is played from the one and only RuPaul, the queen of drag and an icon in the LGBTQ+ community. The act of casting RuPaul as Mark is incredibly and hilariously ironic, that adds so much depth to the story. as Mark throughout the film is hinted to still be gay as he checks out the head of True Direction's son Rocky, and Mark still remains flamboyant. The act of casting RuPaul as Mark is ironic and shows the problematic point of conversion therapy, as making an iconic gay person play an in-denial camp leader conveys the point that conversion therapy does not work. In conclusion, But I'm a Cheerleader represents the harms of conversion therapy without harmful natures through the story and theme, uses characters and costume to portray the LGBTQ+, while making fun of the heteronormative stereotypes, and uses casting and characters to convey the problematic point of conversion therapy. All of these key points show that But I'm a Cheerleader shows a positive representation without harmful natures, while showing the harm of conversion therapy. And this is one of the reasons why this film still remains a beloved film after all of the years of release. Thank you for watching.